So it's wonderful today to be able to welcome Ben, our new curate, and Beth, who are newly arrived as part of our team here and church family. Ben was licensed on Wednesday through a Zoom call with the bishop. So he's not ordained quite yet. He gets ordained in October, but he is licensed now to be part of us and part of our ministry team. So a huge welcome to you both. It's really amazing that you are now finally with us. We've been looking forward to it for a very long time. Nice to see you in the flesh in a Zoom room. And you can say hello to all the people who are watching our Sunday services this Sunday. So just say hello. You're real people. They've seen a photo of you before, but now you are properly here. So just a couple of questions for you both to help us get to know you a little bit better. You don't actually move to Farnborough until the end of July, so it'd be lovely to find out a little bit about you before we start seeing you round and about the parish. So first of all, a question for both of you. Obviously you are Christians and you've just spent some time at theological college with Ben studying in Bristol, but I'd love to know what, for both of you, your journey of faith has looked like up to this point. So what would you like to share with us?
So in terms of my journey of faith, I grew up in a Christian home. Both my parents are Christians and very much involved in church. And so as long as I can remember, I've been very involved in church. At the very least been going to loads of services and dragged to various meetings. And I can honestly say that for as long as I can remember, I've had some kind of faith in Jesus. And there have been milestones along the way. I remember the first time I had communion. And that was quite a big moment for me. That was kind of where I took ownership of my faith. And then a few years after that, I got baptized when I was about 15 as well. So that was another big moment. My call to ministry was when it started when I was about 14, and my youth worker at the time tried to actually put me off being a minister, and he failed. And that started a whole long journey, which maybe I'll talk about another time. And yeah, here I am today. 5 years I've been at theological college, so I'm actually looking forward to getting my boots on the ground, as it were.
Brilliant. Gosh, that's quite a journey. Well, we're really glad he didn't put you off completely. That's really good. Beth, what about you? Because obviously you guys have been married for a couple of years, is it? How long have you been married?
Nearly three in September.
3 years, but obviously you had a life before Ben, so tell us a little bit about your journey, your faith.
So my parents are Christians as well, so I was brought up going to church. It was I'd say that there was a bit more of an emphasis in my church growing up of the more negative sides of the Christian faith, shall we say. So maybe a bit too much emphasis on the world is evil and we are sinful and that kind of thing, which obviously is part of the message, but perhaps not so much focus on God's love and his grace. And so I did have faith in God at quite a young age, and I did get baptized when I was 15 as well, actually. But my faith was very much based on fear of God. I was kind of afraid of him, and so I had to kind of believe in him because the consequences if I didn't were very bad. But when I went to university, I started going to a different church, which happened to be the church that Ben and his family were at. I heard something about the grace and the love of God, and I just feel like my faith really came alive at that point, and I just enjoyed the freedom that I had in the gospel, and I met some really good people at uni and at that church. And to cut a very long story short, I ended up working at that church for quite a while, for 6 years, as a youth worker there. I started off as an apprentice, and then I was youth pastor. And then in my final year there, our final year there, we got married, and then moved to Bristol. And I did a master's as well. That was good fun. Having said that, I wasn't gonna study further. I decided to do a master's in biblical studies, so that was good fun. And yeah, we moved here, and I've been kind of doing bits and bobs here, bits of voluntary work, bits of childcare work, but it's been a bit of a strange couple of years, but it's been good to be able to support Ben kind of doing his thing, and yeah, that's kind of where we're at now.
Brilliant. Gosh, there's a lot of study between the two of you.
I don't want to set expectations.
Yeah, no.
That's great. No, that's great. So obviously you're still in Bristol because moving has been delayed because of all that's been going on in the world that we know all about, and that's a shame. I know you're desperate to get here, but you are starting your curacy, Ben, from now, and that's a new phase. A curacy is, for anyone who doesn't know, a curacy is like a trainee vicar kind of role, trainee rector kind of role. So you do your time in college, and you've been there for 2 years, haven't you? And so you do your studies, and then it's a little bit more, as Ben says, getting your boots on the ground, actually doing the ministry. So you'll be learning the priestly and Anglican minister ropes for the next 3 years. So there's some new stuff to learn as well, but obviously you bring a lot of your gifts and who you are, things that you're already quite practiced in as well. So a little bit of training and a little bit of bringing what you have already been practiced in. But what do you hope to get from your curacy? What are your hopes and dreams for this time while you're with us training?
I mean, as you say, like, yeah, I am here to train, and I'm quite excited about the opportunities that being at St. Peter's will offer that process. But also, from when we first met you over a year ago now, Beth and I felt such a strong sense between us, didn't we, that we were definitely called by God to serve at St. Peter's. You know, so one of the reasons we're here is hopefully I can be a half decent vicar one day. But we do feel like
we hope so too. We hope so too.
But no, we're so convinced that this is where God will have us, and we hope that we can continually discern, you know, what that looks like. I mean, in terms of our passions, we're particularly excited about mission, both in the church as we all of us together might grow in love and knowledge of God, but also hopefully we can, as a church, discern together as well what that looks like in sharing that and kind of bringing that to the people of Farnborough and beyond. So as I say, hopefully I can learn lots from people like yourself, Libby, but I think God is doing awesome things, it seems, doesn't it? And we're excited to step into that and participate. Brilliant.
Oh, we can't wait. We can't wait to have you here. And Beth, obviously you're here, not coming as a curate, coming as Beth, with all of that. So what do you hope for your time here? Obviously it's 3 years that you'll be here that you know about. What do you hope during that time? What would you hope for?
I think, I guess, firstly, just to grow in my love of God, and to kind of I'm really excited to get to know the church family and just really discern kind of what my ministry looks like alongside Ben's, because I do feel a call to ministry, not ordained ministry, but ministry, and just kind of discerning what that might look like. Right. And I do have a role, just a short-term role with Wickham Youth for Christ, so I'm looking forward to doing that, God willing, from September, but also discerning kind of alongside that, you know, what would God have with me, and trying new things and serving, and yeah, I'm looking.
Fantastic. I'm sure he'll show you lots. That's really great. Well, we're so excited for both of you arriving. So as I said, you're still in Bristol, but you'll move at the end of the month. What do you think when you get into your new house and move into Farnborough, the most exciting place on earth? What's the first thing, or what are you going to get up to when you actually get here finally? What do you think you'll do?
We said to you earlier that one of the first things we do is get a takeaway. We do,
of course.
And yeah,
we're going to arrive the day before our stuff, and so we feel like it's a rite of passage to be in an empty house and have a takeaway and sleep on the floor.
So what sort of takeaway?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Indian.
Yeah, yeah. Libby says.
Do you want people to email recommendations?
Oh, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make sure that you get overwhelmed with recommendations for good takeaways. Anything else you think you'll want to do when you sort of hit Farnborough and the parish? And you've got a little dog. Rocco is your dog, is it?
Rocco, yeah.
Rocco.
We've got
Yeah.
Rocco.
So take Rocco for a walk.
Yeah, I explored the area a bit. I mean, I grew up in Ascot and went to school in Bracknell, so I know the kind of wider area of it quite well. I've got friends that I went to school with all around, but we don't actually know Farnborough, so
yeah, just exploring
and getting to know
Brilliant.
where things are and stuff. So
yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure there'll be lots of people who'll be really keen to meet you. But in the meantime, once again, welcome. I know next week you're going to be preaching at our online services, so people will be really excited to hear you, Ben. But we'll be praying for you over these first few weeks, which aren't as you expected they would be or hoped they would be, but you're most welcome, and already you're part of our church family, so that's really thrilling for us, and it's great that we could chat today. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to sign off now, and we'll see more of Ben and Beth in the flesh in a few weeks when we finally, perhaps around the streets of Farnborough, get to see them, or even bump into them in church services in the not so near future. So, or the near future rather, near future. Anyway, see you very much. See you soon, folks. Cheerio.
Yeah.